Hi, Andrew here from The Investor's Way, and welcome to day 10 of my 30-day video challenge. A third of the way, so we're doing well, and thanks for all the questions that are coming in, and make sure you keep adding to the collection that are coming in, and leave them in the comment section below the videos, and I'll address those in the remaining 20 days of my 30-day video challenge. So today's question comes from a good friend of mine, Scott, who rang me to ask about Bitcoin. And for those who aren't aware, Bitcoin is one of the cryptocurrencies that are rapidly emerging in the current financial markets. And you may be aware that there's many people out there who have made extraordinary fortunes with Bitcoin as it's risen from virtually zero to overnight climbing past $10,000 US per Bitcoin. So as you can imagine, there are lots of people out there singing the praises of Bitcoin. But when it comes to me answering this question for you, my audience, you might be surprised to hear that I'm sticking clear of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for now. And I'll explain a little bit why that is in this video. So the reason I wouldn't recommend people rush out and get involved in Bitcoin, particularly if you're a new investor, is that there's just too much risk in that investment at the moment. And there's lots of people out there who would tell you that 10,000 is just the start and it's going to go to 100,000 or 150,000. And I've seen all those emails. I get at least 20 a day, which I wrote about in my blog just this past weekend. But Bitcoin is new, and it certainly is exposed to some risks. So as a new investor or someone who's getting started, absolutely would not recommend Bitcoin be your first investment. And the other thing is that it's a unregulated currency at the moment, and that presents more risks. And potentially areas where price is going to fluctuate quite dramatically. And we've seen that when it was back at 7,000 and it fell to maybe 3,000, 4,000 very quickly. And then admittedly, it climbed back up again rapidly to above 7 and now to 10. And I wrote in my blog during the week that this time last year it was less than $800 US. So you can see it's had phenomenal growth, and normally they would say that something that rises that rapidly is going to have a fall as well. And now I'm not predicting that, I'm not suggesting that that's the case. For all those people out there who love Bitcoin, that's fantastic. But for me, and certainly for this audience of people who are trying to learn some of the basics of investing, Bitcoin is certainly not the place to put your money if that's the only investment you're going to make. If you've already got some investments and it's something where you can be prepared to lose, then certainly go ahead and have a look at Bitcoin or one of the other cryptocurrencies that are rising at quite dramatic rates. But my response at the moment is to sit back and watch, and that may very well cost me exponential growth. But for me, there's some significant risks in these currencies or these cryptocurrencies that we need to just see how they play out over the coming years to determine whether or not they are the future. And look, as I said in my blog post, they probably are the future, but with none of the major banks around the world having major exposure to them at the moment, it'll take them getting involved before it does become mainstream. And so I want to see what happens leading up to that, and just see what happens over coming months and years as we see how the cryptos respond to more and more exposure and more people being involved in them. So in answer to Scott's question, if you haven't invested before, Bitcoin's probably not the place for you, despite all the promotion out there. I would recommend you look at other things first. But if you've already got some investments and you have some money that you're prepared to risk, then by all means it is an investment that may prove extremely beneficial over the coming years, as the predictors suggest. It could get as high as 100,000, and if it does, then you'll have done very, very well. in a very short period of time. But my answer, as I said, steer clear for now if it's the only investment you want to make. Look for other areas that are a little bit more regulated, a little bit more have a little bit more of a defined risk profile, so that you can feel a bit more comfortable about your first foray into investing. So that's the video for today. Thanks for watching. I look forward to day 11 tomorrow. Don't forget to comment below, share with your friends, and give me some likes. And I'm Andrew from The Investor's Way, and I'm dedicated to your wealth. See you tomorrow.